Hello, my name's Frank Camora. I'm from Movida Restaurant in Melbourne and welcome to chefmasterclasses.com. What I'm going to cook for you today is actually a little empanadilla, which means a little baby pie. It's a classic tapa from all over Spain actually. The beauty of this dish is that the pastry is really versatile and you can fill it with whatever you want. So hopefully you'll use this recipe many times. What I've got here is some plain flour and some self-raising flour in equal quantities. I'm going to pop that into the bowl. A little bit of salt, just to add a little bit of extra flavour. And then in here we've got extra virgin olive oil and some fino sherry, so some dry sherry. You may find that the pastry is still a little bit sticky, so what you do is just add just a little bit more plain flour to it. Won't need too much. And what I do now is just wrap that in some cling film, put that in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes and it'll be ready to use. Okay, so now we need to make the filling for the pastry. You can use whatever you want in this filling, whatever you like. So in this case, what I've got here is these beautiful little roasted and smoked piquillo peppers. You can buy these in little Spanish groceries. About a dozen or so will do. So this is just normal everyday canned tuna. Break it up in your hands. Make sure we don't have much excess liquid. We're going to pop that onto our board. So just with a small knife, chop it all up. All of this goes into a bowl now. A couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise, a good pinch of salt, and mix that all together. We've got a lovely filling for our empanadilla. Pastry has just firmed up a little bit in our fridge, 15-20 minutes. Take about a third of your pastry and just make sure you really use a lot of flour so it doesn't stick. So we're just going to cut the pastry to size with our pastry cutter and fill it with our tuna and piquillo filling. We're going to cut these into rounds. We just need to put about a teaspoon's amount right in the middle. You don't need too much. It's quite moist and extremely tasty as it is. We need to seal these pastries, so what I'm going to use is just an egg as an egg wash. Make sure we do that to all of them. And there we go. The top part of the pastry over the bottom, just quickly press that down a little bit. The beauty of this pastry as well is you get a really flaky pastry, but you also get a very sort of yeasty flavour to it that comes from the sherry. To finish sealing them off, just a little bit more flour over the top, and then just using the fork, just squish down the edges. Once you finish these, just pop them on some grease proof. That'll make sure they don't stick to the plate, and then we're going to finish off making the rest of these pastries. Okay, so now that we've rolled out our little empanadillas, what we have to do now is cook them. I'm going to cook them in some oil, about 170 degrees. Really crispy is what we're looking for, so you'll need to make sure they go nice and brown, but don't burn. As the pastries are cooking, just make sure you turn them every now and again so they're browning on both sides. After about 5 or 6 minutes, we're taking these lovely little pastries out and just put them on some absorbent paper. It's really important that you season the empanadillas as they come out, still nice and warm. That way the actual salt will stick to the pastry. So once they've cooled down a little, I like to serve them in just these little classic Spanish terracotta tapas plates. There you go, there's my little empanadillas, little Spanish pastries filled with tuna and piquillo pepper. I hope that you get to enjoy those with some friends or family.